Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. You're tuning in with Marvin and Earl. We've got the vibes and you've got the time. So sit back and enjoy That Me podcast.
Hey guys, this is Marvin.
And this is Earl. And today we are joined with our good friend, our multidisciplinary artist.
Ooh, you got it.
Man,
Okay.
did I say that right?
That was right.
Did I say it right? Melissa. Melissa, how are you going today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Thank you so much for jumping on. I know you trekked very far.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Makes the drive worth it.
Yes.
And we heard you moved a few things around just to fit us in, which is great.
If you guys are recognizing her voice, there's actually a reason why.
So she's actually our introduction voice actor.
Yeah.
Surprise.
As you can tell, this is the very reason why we got her. Her voice is 1 in a million.
Mm-hmm.
Not to toot your own horn. Oh, not me toot your horn. Oh my God, I'm done.
No, it's
I'm
all right.
done.
It's all right.
I'm done.
We get what you're trying to put down.
We're tooting horns now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole reason why we actually met is because of your voice.
Yes.
Who introduced you guys?
I remember asking Luell, hey, do you know anyone with like a raspy, like kind of sexy, relaxed, I didn't mean it was you, voice. That's the actual words I said.
Yeah.
And he said, actually, I do. And I'm like, really? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, because before this, we were actually going on like websites to find a voice actor.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
We had a couple of people audition and we landed on you. And it's funny because you were actually the first one I approached before others. And that was a long time coming.
It actually was. Now that I put it into perspective, it took a long time for it to actually come into fruition. But
Yeah.
we're here. It happened.
Do we want to talk about like what happened in the meantime? Like you kept up to it the whole time, but you were everywhere. Where were you?
Yes, one of the first phone calls I had with you was quite literally saying how I'd booked a flight to Tahiti less than a week before leaving. So within the span of 2 months, I did New Zealand, Tahiti, went around French Polynesia, also went to Moorea, flew all the way back to New Zealand, then back to Melbourne, and then 4 days after, also once losing my baggage,
Jesus.
managed to fly out to America, went from LA to Arizona to from there to Las Vegas, then Vegas, back to LA, and then LA to San Francisco, San Fran back to Melbourne.
What the frick?
And then once coming back, started a new job, had to settle into that, plus teaching contracts. And I still managed to find time to come in and record the wonderful voice memo that I did. So we're here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Honestly, and here's the thing, I appreciate that no matter what, no matter how long the distance, no matter how long the time we talked in between, you kept up to it.
Yes.
You're always like, oh, Earl, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
And we were always missing each other because if you were down, I was away.
Correct.
And if anyone knows or any of my close friends, my schedule is freaking hectic, but yours is next damn level.
I mean, it's also, they were just polar opposites.
That's very
For
true.
you, weekend was rest, but for me, weekend is A, leisure, B, just all my freelance work.
Yeah.
So essentially, your downtime is just not my downtime and
Yeah.
vice versa. Yeah.
And you know what? Everything aligned anyway. So
It did. Yeah.
Um,
Two.
Is that how long was the timeline for that?
I think episode 5.
Oh,
From episode 5
True.
all the way to when we did it.
Yep.
Regardless, it was awesome. Everything aligned. We couldn't have found a better, for our podcast, a better voice. And through that, we got to talking.
Yes.
And I asked her a question that I always ask is if she had to give one message to the world. And what was it? You remember?
To do what you love. That's
Mm.
exactly what I said.
Yeah,
I did and ah for a little bit, but I believe what I said was to do what you love.
110%. She got into society being not allowing that to happen, and it was like, you know what, we're about to end the season, but let's get this damn girl in for an episode. But yes, and now you're here, and this is how we got here.
Yeah.
Are you happy to be here?
I am happy to be here. It is a beautiful day too. Not that you
Yes.
can
See,
that. Hopefully from the conversation
Yeah.
that comes about,
we're gonna
you can
give you
feel
a
it.
yes, we're gonna give you a beautiful day.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about a lot of our background story, blah, blah, blah. And the whole reason why I asked you to come on is because this is a topic that's very close and dear to us. And now we know very dear to you. So the overarching topic of today's episode is passion.
Passion.
Passion. Yeah.
How about to start the episode, we talk about for what does passion mean to each of us. So How do we define passion? Let's start with Melissa.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, boom.
Yes. Boom.
I guess passion is the fire or the drive that you have to do towards something. Could be creative, it could be a pedestrian thing, doesn't necessarily have to be anything in the creative industry, but passion could be the reason you wake up in the morning. It's
Ooh.
honestly the impetus or like the
Oh.
push that you have to do something and to do something with the highest level of integrity. And I think that passion and integrity really go hand in hand. I think that's what passion is to me.
I love that. That was great.
Oh, nice.
Very well put. How about you, Marvin? What is passion to you?
Well, me, passion is basically just doing a task with such a feeling of fire deep down inside you, a task or, some sort of thing, just with so much energy that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing that you need to summon, right? Like
it just comes out naturally.
I think passion for me. Thank you for asking, guys.
So I think it was just
insinuated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
assume that it was your turn next.
Anyway, so passion for me is, so when you think of passion, right? A lot of people refer back to their hobbies, right? People think about what they like to do. But I think there's a difference there when it comes to passion. Passion comes with a level of curiosity in your potential.
Okay.
Right? When you're doing something that you love, there's something deep down and beneath you that says, I want to know how far I can take this. I want to know how far I can do this. And I want to know what this does for myself, right?
Okay.
As well as that the potential that you have for this particular task or thing is just absolutely unlimited, right? Because you're just going to keep doing until you can't anymore.
Yo.
Yeah, that's what I feel like passion is. Damn, I killed that. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty damn. Ooh.
That wasn't rehearsed.
Oh, whoa! What? That wasn't rehearsed. Wait, did you hear me? I'm kidding. But did it sound rehearsed? Because I swear it wasn't rehearsed.
It wasn't.
No.
Yeah, high five.
I just
fuck you.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't
You
have said.
just left him hanging.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
No,
I do
fuck
it too
you,
much.
man.
No, because everyone today has been so mean. Okay,
You're just an emotional wreck right now.
Yeah, today's a bad day. All right. But you know what? We're ending this season on a high. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we know now what passion means to us. All right. But to each of our points, what then is our passion? Is it only to us, or what do we define? What do we have in our lives that we call passions? Do we want to go, Melissa? Okay,
Do you want to go?
you know what?
We can start right now. We can start with Elle first.
No,
Maybe we start with you.
Why would
We
we
just
start with
change
me?
it up.
Okay.
Wait. Why would we go back to front? It doesn't make any sense. They just heard me talk.
I have
That's all right.
ADHD. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's
ADHD.
Sorry, we'll change the routine.
No,
or
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, what kind of passions do you have?
He just wanted to be asked the question, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's a podcast. So what passions do I have? I think just recently I figured out that I have the passion to coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have
Yep.
the passion to help people understand better certain situations in life. I didn't realize until recently. We'll dive deeper into it later, how I found that passion.
Yep.
But that's something I just within myself found quite recently. Another is my passion for family. I didn't realize how much everyone always says passion, they love their family and everything for the family. But one thing I didn't realize that I cared so much about is seeing my family succeed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something now that I
Resonate
feel,
with that.
Yeah. Something that I feel quite passionate for.
Yeah.
Until it's all said and done, undying tenacity to make sure that everyone succeeds in my family. I mean, that sounds a bit selfish, but I think that's one of my passions. And one, because everyone's going to wait for this answer. Yes, dancing.
Yeah.
Love dancing. And love, dancing for now.
Yeah.
Dancing tonight. And last one, podcast. Love this podcast. I didn't realize it was a passion of mine. I think time away from this podcast sometimes reminds me how much I love doing it. Meeting new people and seeing how they think. All right. No, Melissa.
Well, just touching on that, I think when you're passionate about something, when there's absence from it, and then you truly miss it, and that gives you even more motivation to go back and do what you do. Things I'm passionate about, having ADHD makes me passionate about literally everything.
Yep.
Yes.
There's this almost toxic trait about me where I pick up any task and I have this fire inside me to be good at it no matter what it takes.
Okay.
And honestly, that's how it made me a multidisciplinary artist.
5.
Yeah.
Multidisciplinary.
Yo, that's the word of the day.
Killed that. Didn't say that many times.
I think as well, culture can play a big part of your passions, like being philo. Music and dance are such a big part of our lives and of our culture. And I almost feel as though, you know, not attacking our culture, but you get disowned if you have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
That's facts, man. Say it with your chest.
I was born with Magic Sing microphone in my hands.
That's it.
Kind of vibes. So I think from a young age, having music and dance as a part of my culture was a big deal.
Okay.
And then once I started doing it, I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
And then being competitive kind of made me grow and develop more into it. You know, meeting more people just in the creative industry. Oh, you draw? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to, BRB art store, you know? Pick up pen and paper, and next thing you know, here I am, I'm drawing. I started doing some commission work for people. Drawing then turned into doing some painting.
God damn.
Yeah, I think just having this understanding of, oh, you like doing that? I'm going to try that. I'm going to see why you like doing that and then go from there. But I'm not passionate about sport whatsoever.
Okay.
Don't give me a racket or a bat of any description because the ball will 100% hit my face.
Okay, cool.
But arts, instrument to play, song to sing, something to draw.
Okay.
I'm so passionate about the creative arts because it's limitless and the people around me just continue to inspire me and drive that passion and that fire inside of me. It's literally limitless. You never stop growing. You never stop developing. Whereas sometimes I feel like in sports, it's a bit more definitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a sad way to say it, but yes.
For me anyway.
Yes.
There are certain rules and you can enjoy it, but like the grand final is the grand final.
Yeah.
Or the Olympics is the Olympics.
Yeah.
In the art world, you do an art show and then that leads to a bigger art show and a bigger art show and then licensing and royalties. And for me, the collaborations are endless. And the need to grow and the need to develop is endless. So arts in all, like both visual arts and performing arts for me is my passion, as well as dogs and shoes. But
nice.
That's a different.
I love that. Can I just touch on 2 of your points?
Yes.
Dogs and shoes. No, I'm kidding. No,
shoes, they can make anyone feel like a baddie.
Yes.
Shoes are sick. You know, I just love them. I think they're so cool. Doesn't
she's had
matter.
Fresh kicks. Lifetime
every
she's
time
had.
he's been here, fresh kicks.
Shoes are where it's at. Honestly, I look down at the ground to look at people's shoes rather than their face.
Damn.
Yeah.
Judging
Is that
them by
really
their
why?
shoes.
That's how many times I've been like, eyes up here.
Nah, it's the shoes.
It's the shoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
the shoes
thought it was
thing.
my nipples.
Nah, it's shoes.
What?
Well,
I'm so kidding.
shoes and dogs.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love dogs?
But can I just touch on 2 points before I forget? So 1, I love what you said about sports being definitive. In a very big way, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, not only do you need to be a certain body type or blah, blah, to break those barriers, but exactly what you said, a grand final is a grand final, where with arts, if you don't have a door, you create your own door. If you don't have an art gallery you can get to, you make your own. You can make an art gallery out on the street. You can share it on social media. I love that. That was awesome. Never heard it before, but you touched really amazing. And the second is, not only does our culture disown us when we aren't talented, but I feel like now with the growing knowledge of Filipinos, people now seem to just stereotype Filipinos. So one instance being, every time I say I'm Filipino, they go, "Oh, you can sing."
Yep.
See what I mean?
Or you can dance.
Yeah, you can dance.
Yep.
And then whenever a Filipino says they can't do any, you see the face just change. They're like, "Oh."
Yeah, it's like the titas at the party. They all push certain kids to sing certain songs and outdo each other.
Yeah, do that for your tito.
They're staring at the screen like 99.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Is
92.
it bringing childhood trauma?
Yeah,
Talking
I'm
about
telling
this?
you.
Oh,
Oh, the sound.
Oh, that's crazy.
see, the fact that you know what it is,
Yeah.
low-key, it's trauma.
It's definitely trauma. I'll tell you right now, I used to do the magic mic all the time, the magic sing, magic mic. But there came to a point where I did at every party and I grew to love it. And I didn't realize my voice was changing and it sucked really bad. And there was one party my mom said, look, Earl, maybe pass the mic to someone else. And then from then on, it was just that. I was like, I want to sing Beauty and the Beast. And then they were like, well, maybe give it to her.
No, you know what's the worst thing is that when you're singing at home, right, and the magic mic, and then after they had the settings for the score.
Yeah.
So you sing it publicly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that. It's not that score anymore.
Bro, it's always
At home,
99.
I'm 99.
Yeah.
At the party, 60.
Always, man. Damn.
It was almost like those scores meant more than school
Yeah,
exams
straight
and
up.
stuff. You know?
Straight up. All right. We digressed quite a lot, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
Love being Philo. Marvin, what are your passions?
My passions are pretty simple, really. Just combat sports. I've always had a thing from combat sports. I think ever since I was young. A big influence for that would have been Bruce Lee.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that he was a big influence when I was a lot younger. Just watching all his old videos, and then after, just wanted to get in that as well. And I think it's just the mindset of having combat sports, having discipline in everything that you do, and it just makes you a more calmer person, right? Podcast. Definitely a new passion as well now, because just showing you being consistent in something that you have to do every single week, just moving a schedule around and dedicating a lot of time after work for it. It just shows that developing skills for something that's out of my comfort zone has really showed that I have a passion for this, because it's really developing me as a person. Another one you touched on is I resonate a lot with is the family one. During this period, this year has been difficult, but it's actually helped me become closer with my family as well.
And it's literally pushed you to another level.
Yeah. One day I'll
so
talk about.
introverted right now.
Huh?
Here I am talking about me, my dog, my shoes,
no.
and y'all are like sports, community. Woo!
No, oh my God. Okay, yeah, look. Yeah, you are. You are weird. No, I'm kidding. Nah, it's okay. Remember, own it. That's you.
right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
you.
Touch lightly on what our passions are. How did we exactly find those passions, you reckon? Like, for example, Earl, how did you find your passion of coaching?
Before any podcast, I like to do some research and to see how different minds tackle topics. One being passion, right? And one podcast in particular, and I'm forgetting who it was now, and I wish I remembered, mentioned that passion isn't actually the things that we did, right? So we talked about coaching, right? And you said you didn't like sports. Some people have a passion for, let's say, basketball, but when you dig even deeper, you realize that it's not a passion for basketball that you have, but it's a passion for something that basketball has. So, for instance,
I can create for yourself?
yeah. For instance, right?
Okay.
The reason I found passion in my coaching was through, first and foremost, teaching. Right? As a kid, I when I was a younger adult, I thought I had a passion for teaching, but it wasn't teaching. It wasn't being a dance teacher. It was actually helping someone grow. That was the thing I loved to see.
Yeah.
Right? For instance, right, and if I can bring it back to you a bit, you said you like fighting.
Yeah.
Is it just fighting you like?
As I explained before, it's more so.
You said combat sports.
Yeah, combat sports, but the idea of training, for example, is improving my mentality for being more disciplined and trying more harder in training itself. And then after, I can bring that over to whatever I do. And being calm. When you go to training, right, you get punched, you get smacked around. You have to stay calm in those moments.
Oh, there you go.
When I get into a situation that's not as, I guess you would say, chaotic, I can be a lot more calmer. So, for example, any emotional things that might arise for, in everyday life, I can feel calm about it because I've dealt with something so much more chaotic than that. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. I didn't ask you to like go into it. I was just saying,
sorry.
For example, combat sports. But anyway, cool. Just ruined my point. Nah, I'm kidding. It was good. What you said was really good.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly what I meant.
Yep.
And when you're asking me how I found my passions, is exactly through that. I didn't think of the passion I was doing. I thought, what about that passion that I enjoy? So I noticed about basketball. For instance, I played basketball my whole life. But I knew, and I still know to this day, that no matter how hard I try, I can't get to a certain place. And I'm easy to quit, but I'm easy to come back after I play one game. And the reason being is what I actually love about basketball is that feeling of triumph. That feeling like after you win a damn freaking game, that sensation of holy shit, I just destroyed someone. Yeah, I know it sounds terrible, but that's genuinely what I love.
What is like, I want to help people now. I want to destroy
No,
people.
but that's, if we're being honest.
Back to back. Like,
Jesus Christ. But seriously, that's something I loved about it. It's not actually, that's why I didn't mention basketball, but everyone knows me as someone who played basketball in real life. But what I enjoyed was that and overcoming people's stereotypes of me.
Yep. Putting you in a certain box, right?
Yeah. And then overcoming that. That was a passion that I loved.
Basically proving people wrong.
Yeah. That's exactly why I loved basketball.
Yep.
That's how I found those passions. Through understanding what about those passions that I love. How about you, Melissa?
I think I made that discovery pretty early on, which is why I've been doing the same thing for a long time. And one of my life mottos, which I quite literally have tattooed on my arm, is aspire to inspire. And that is why I teach. I don't teach because I necessarily find joy in the act of teaching. What I enjoy is inspiring people to do what I love doing. And when people ask me, why do you teach? You don't need to teach. You earn enough, blah, blah, blah. I do it because I get to inspire someone to do something that drives me every day. And if it isn't for people who continue to inspire others in whatever, aspect it may be, it could be in life, it could be in a sport, it could be in an art, there is no passion circulating. And I know that the passion is to inspire people to do what I love, whether that's to go and dance or to go and watch dance or to support dance or to research dance history. I've still done what I think is important in inspiring them to do what I love or to see it from a different perspective. And yeah, that's why I teach. I teach to inspire. And that also came down to questioning why. You can sit there and you can ask why infinitively.
Yeah,
100%.
And why did I love certain teachers? I loved them because they inspired me. Why did they inspire me? They inspired me because of da 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 da. Okay, so if it's down to the teachers that's causing a large part of my inspiration, maybe that's the avenue I need to pursue. And that proud mum feeling I get, or that big sister feeling I get seeing my kids on stage, the tear that it literally brings to my eyes. Kids, if you're watching this, no, I'm not crying. The tear it brings to my eyes seeing their level of accomplishment and seeing their pure joy and excitement doing something that I love, I see me in them. And I'm also kind of healing some childhood trauma in the process of being able to tell them that I'm proud of them. And something I say in every dance class before we put the music on is, what do you do when you're happy? Miss Mel, we smile. Okay, does dance make you happy? Yes. So what do we do when we dance? We smile. And that encourages them to feel something when they're dancing, not just to do what I'm teaching them or to force the faces that no one ever trains in the dance studio. When you feel happy, you smile. Does dance make you happy? Yes. So when you dance, you smile. And something so simple like that, I had to sit and I had to think about, because so many teachers over the years never, I don't think, fully understood the influence or the impact that they had on a student's lives. And no names here, but shout out to so many teachers I've had over the years who still inspire me to this day. There are things that they did for me or they did for the class that still stick with me, and I just want to continue doing. So that's why I teach. That my passion is actually to inspire people, and teaching is like the vessel that allows me to do that. Yeah.
And I think that brings us exactly to our next point, because you're talking about people that inspired you, right? And that's how a passion was ignited in yourself. You saw that, right? I was listening to another podcast and it talked about finding passions, right? Because you can find them literally anywhere and you don't realize actually when you found them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one great way of doing it, because you had to sit down and say why. There's different, Jay Shetty, another, I know, I'm sure you guys have heard of him, a podcaster.
The monk, yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, and he talks about finding passions. And this is an episode about how people can find it in the weirdest places, right? One is is understanding what type of person you are.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how, but there was a question that was asked, or how I formulated myself, was there are two types of people. One being a people's person, and the other being a tasks person.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already asked this to Marvin, but I'm gonna pretend for the podcast that I haven't asked this question, but I'm gonna ask it to Melissa first. If I asked you, Melissa, me and you are going to a party. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Me and you are going to a party. What's the first thing you're gonna ask?
We're going to a party?
Yeah.
See, I'm torn because when it comes to personality types, I'm like a combination of two extremes here.
Okay.
So in my head, being the busy person I am, I'd be like, when the fuck is the party?
Yeah.
But also another part of me is like, oh, who's going to the
There
party?
you go. That's what I mean.
So this is where like my ADHD and my sense of like control is like, when's the party? When's the party?
Which one do you resonate with first?
But then my heart's like, oh, I want to know who's there because then I'll prioritize it. So really, I'm a people's person, but I do let logistics sometimes define what I'm doing or weight the priority of the situation.
Exactly. There you go. So
she answered that.
Yeah, she answered the damn fucking thing. Yeah. So I asked that question, and this is how I formulated it, because when he went to the podcast, he talked about it in different ways, but this is how I formulated it.
Yeah.
So one is people who people type of people are ones who people's people are the ones who prioritize experience, and task types of people are the ones who prioritize time. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I love that you are a split of both.
Hybrid.
Yeah. Where you ask me that question, and I know straight off the bat, first thing I'm going to say is, who's going? Who's going?
Yeah.
Because I prioritize experience.
Yeah.
Right? I want to know, is this going to be a good enough experience that I'm going to allocate time for it? Yep. When I asked you, because I asked you this earlier, what did you say?
I said when and where.
Yeah. When and where. Right?
Okay.
Because he believes that he needs to allocate time for it. And what he prioritized is doing that. And the two types of people find passions differently, right? People type of people, the ones who prioritize experience, they find passions by speaking it into existence, right? Just thinking about it as an idea and saying it. Exactly, manifesting it, right? Where people who are task oriented find passion in repetition.
And I've always preached about how I do things, and mine's always about consistency and just repetition.
Exactly. For instance, I don't. I think when we talk about this podcast, for me, from the jump, it was 100. The moment I spoke into existence, I'm like, we're going 100. Right. And then for yourself, it was the repetition of every episode and more and more. And now it's you pushing me through it. Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So that's the way people can find, one, understanding what kind of people they are, and then traveling back in time and understanding what parts of things allowed them to find those passions. For instance, for people's people, it's experiences around them that had that passion.
Yeah.
How I invigorated my passions was people telling me I could not do them. Yeah.
Competitiveness.
No, for real though.
It is that.
For real.
And that literally creates passion and fire.
Yes. And you being inspired. Yes, 100%. People saying I was too short to play basketball. Psst, bitch, watch me destroy you. I mentioned this earlier too, Marvin. A passion I grew and I didn't realize I grew was the gym. Reason being is everyone from day dot told me I was so weak, right? So weak. And it took until I went to the gym all by myself with the idea of everyone thinking I was weak, and then bringing those same people who believed I was weak and showing them that I was stronger than them. That is what invigorated.
Actually.
Yeah,
do you find words of affirmation are super important to you as a result of these things?
Yes, unfortunately. As much as I want to say no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting to see personality types, whether it's split into 2, 4, 16, whatever it is. Once you understand them, you can really understand people's love languages despite what they say they are. And from there also adapt how you treat them in a social setting, the way you speak to them in order to convince them to do something. And it's not emotional manipulation,
Yeah.
but rather adaptation of energy and language to be able to provide for that friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, my mentor and I, we break down into 4 certain personality types, and they have a certain names. And whenever we create leadership groups or we're trying to pitch something to a particular person, we're very particular with how we word it or the information we include so that we can more easily convince them
You'll cater to your audience.
Or even designating roles when we run events. Okay, I'm not going to go deep into it, but we go, this person is a dolphin, therefore this person should be in this role. Or you're an urchin, so I'm going to get you to do all of these things. And once you understand those personality types, and not necessarily group people, but just have an understanding of them in social context, you can make them feel more comfortable in situations.
Yep.
You can keep them around in your life for longer if that's what you wish.
Yep.
Or even be able to read the room and understand where you sit in that hierarchy or where your energy needs to be in that room.
Okay.
Because everyone that you meet obviously is going to project a different level of energy based off of their personality and off of their life, context. And once you understand who they are, even from surface level in social context, you can then project and receive appropriately.
100%.
Still being yourself,
Yeah.
but just understanding that dynamic in social
100%
settings. Yeah.
That is a very great analysis, and it's something that we want to utilize with complete responsibility, because once you understand, you are able to control a room.
And I'm pretty sure you do that very well. Very well.
Yeah. Look, we've got into a lot about how to invigorate passion, how it ignites within us. For any of us, right? For especially us 3, we're consistently juggling passions. Yeah. I think I've only with the short amount of time I've met you, Melissa, you've told me a lot about what you do on a daily basis.
Yes.
All right. Without going too far into everything.
Yep.
What advice would you give someone on how to juggle these? What do you do to juggle these passions?
What do I do?
Yes.
Is first and foremost is time management and finding an organizational system that works for me.
Yep.
Also being able to compartmentalize certain energies or certain aspects of myself that I need for those different tasks.
Okay.
So for my corporate job, for example, I'm using very analytic mind. So I use that mind when I'm at work, and I try and reserve my creative energy for when I'm teaching. And finding, okay, in between my corporate job and my teaching job, what do I need to do for me in order to provide the best version of myself in my next meeting or in my next job or in my next catch up? And also just being completely transparent with the people around me.
Yeah.
If I rock up to teaching, I will literally say to my kids, hey guys, I had a hard day at work. So if I'm not myself, it's not you, okay? It's me. But I'm still going to try my best, all right? And once you allow yourself to be vulnerable in understanding that and then transparent in communicating that, life becomes a lot easier.
Damn.
You can't mask and be 100% Mel all the time. And I thought I had to do that, but you can't. That's how you burn out.
Holy fuck.
I feel like this is like eye-opening-ish for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
because I feel like I was in your position. For ages, I was like, how do all these people run 50 events, own a company, have a family, do these things? And it's because they know what parts of their energy they need to use for certain things. Their understanding of, once again, the social hierarchy. How much do I actually need to provide into this setting in order to get that equivalent exchange, and what do I need to do in my downtime to be able to continue to be me? And for me, like my driving, even though I travel a lot, that's my me time. I'll sit in silence, or I'll sit and hype myself up, or I'll sit there and listen to a podcast, or I'll sit there and listen to instrumentals and I'll write a song if that's what I need to re-energize or re-establish or re-ground myself recenter myself to do the next task. And if I can't do something, then I'm going to tell the person that I can't do it today because I can't. And I don't want to provide a lesser version of myself just because I have to.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to.
It's interesting you talked about reserving. Like that's
Reserving different parts of you, right?
Different
yeah,
parts.
that's interesting
Yeah.
because that's interesting.
Like you basically have multiple hats, and then after those will have some sort of meter of how much energy you can use.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, especially now with so many people my age, our age, that are discovering they have things like ADHD or are neurodivergent, are going, wait, my whole life I was expected to be this person. I can still be this person, but I don't have to present myself in that way all the time in order for people to still have the same, you know, expectation of my energy levels.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And once you understand that, you just feel more at ease. And I think that for me, I feel more comfortable in myself. I can say silly things and it's not out of character. Or I can be tired, I can feel tired, and it's not out of character. It's because I understand who I am and the energy is going to be reciprocated. If you enter a room like this, everyone's going to start doing this. If you enter a room like this, everyone's going to start doing this. And I'm not masking, I'm not being anyone different. I'm just reading the room. I'm exchanging the energy that I'm receiving. And you don't have to be loud to show energy.
I want to work with you. I want to work with you. I genuinely do. Like, I would love to see you in a role that I have and just see like how you work. That's interesting. Like, I genuinely, you've touched maybe 5 or 6 of our episodes. You have.
Well, my juggling passions, like, I don't even think it's that complex. It's very surface level, if anything.
Okay.
It's mainly just doing the thing, like, as we said, we touched on before. It's more of just consistency and repetition, right? Even though sometimes it's a bit of a struggle just to get up and no energy, I just need to do it because I know that's going to ignite my passion even more, right? Instead of giving myself an excuse or way out of doing something that I know it's going to rejuvenate me later on, I just keep doing it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
What advice? Just keep doing it. Just do it, really.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, mine's simple because that's just how I work. I just do it because I know that I just need to do it. I don't have any complex strategy of maybe I have to time block. Oh, yeah, obviously maybe a bit of time management and whatever.
A lot of time management.
Yeah, time management. What you need to do.
You do a lot of time management.
Yeah, have a schedule of like how your day is going to go planned, how long something is going to take to finish off. But then after, just make sure you start. When they want to do a passion, they might procrastinate. My advice is maybe just think about the first step, or maybe I'll do 5 minutes of it. And then after, generally, when you do that 5 minutes, you're like, okay, I can just keep doing it.
It's true.
Yeah, that happens with me a lot.
All the time,
That happens with me a
You
lot.
say that all the
You just
time.
need
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like legit, it's just more of just dipping your toes in, then
Yeah.
after you can go for a swim.
Yeah.
Because for me, for example, editing, sometimes I just want to push it off. I can't be bothered like a lot sometimes, but
But who can be bothered editing full stop?
Yeah. But he goes on.
Yeah, so what happens with me, for example, I basically don't want to do it. Maybe I hold it off for a day. Then I'm like, fuck, okay, I need to do this because it's a deadline.
Yeah.
I dip my toes in it. I was like, I'll do 20 minutes of it. Then I end up doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Do all night.
It takes me like
sure.
the whole night just to do it. So yeah, with your schedule, how do you juggle so many passions, Earl?
Not to take away from what we just mentioned, but in terms of juggling passions, I don't think I do that. Passions for me is what, as Mel touched, is what recenters me. I get eager to do my passions to keep me invigorated in my daily tasks. Life is hard. Life is so tough. And I honestly, just to be open and honest, I struggle with work sometimes. I struggle with family problems and everything. Like everyone's human. But it's the passion for things that allow me to go back to being me. And like keep moving forward. So I don't feel like I juggle life, but I don't juggle passions for me. So in terms of making time to recenter, I guess just knowing that I need it. And when I know I need it, it just happens. I told you how many times before where like I was like, I need just to take a dance class.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dance class is like pressure
Facts.
for sometimes. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
I need to go out and meet someone. I need to go out and do something. Like those little passions those micro passions that I have, those are what keep me going. And what I juggle is life. But yeah, that's me. That's how that was the advice I would give. You guys didn't see this, but in our break when I went toilet, I think Melissa went so deeply into the next question, and I hope she has enough to share with you guys because it was amazing. The question I have for everyone is, what are your thoughts on society's pressure to denying passions? Because as we know, passions aren't shared by everyone. It's not what everyone sees. Like one person's a dancer, one person's this, one person's that, but everyone has a 9 to 5 sometimes. Everyone can do this. Everyone wants a house. Everyone, but what seems to be denied of us is passions, because we have to make time for them. What are our thoughts on that? How about you, Matt? What do you think?
I think that just because of the society we live in and generational norms, we just conform to what society deems as acceptable, which is the Australian dream. And the Australian dream, in my opinion, due to what I've seen, is, you know, in your early 20s, you find your life partner, you buy a house, you establish a life with them. And your 30s is when you're experiencing family life. And when you have a roof over your head, you both work a traditional job, in quotation marks, whether that's tradie, doctor, teacher, those kinds of things. That's when you're seen as successful. You raise your family, then the cycle continues. Your kid goes to school, goes to high school, gets a degree, gets a job, a traditional job, buys a house, gets a family. That's what's deemed as success. And following your passions or your dreams, or taking the other path, as everyone likes to call it, and it's always seen in a negative light, is just not seen as acceptable. And I know that having, you know, a migrant parent and having a father of a, you know, working class family, socioeconomic status, is, we just don't want Mel to fall flat on her face. We don't want her to pursue this passion, irrespective of how good she is at it, to turn around and go, oh, well, what's she going to do now? And being a dancer, obviously your body only has so much fuel. You can only do it for so long. But until that point in time, I'm going to keep following that fuel and that passion and that drive, because I've been blessed with that gift. Whether you believe in God or the universe or the flying spaghetti monster, it doesn't freaking matter, right? I've been given a gift for the arts, so I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. And talking about that cycle before of teachers that inspired me, if it wasn't for those teachers and for this cycle that continues, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And I think as well is that people don't realize how important the arts are until it's taken away. So looking at COVID, the bloody C word, people started wondering why there were no good movies in the cinemas. People started wondering why their favorite artists weren't dropping albums. Oh, there's no new songs. Oh, I wonder why. We weren't allowed to make music. We weren't allowed to film movies. We weren't allowed to do the creative arts. Why? Because it was not deemed as essential.
Yeah.
But when you look at, you know, higher class status and those kinds of people, what are they spending their money on? Luxury things like performances, going to see the ballet, going to see the arts, hiring musicians at fancy venues. But we're still not seen as a professional or a necessity or an essential career or an essential part of the world. And unless you are a creative or you are a sports professional and you are in that circle of people, you don't realize that you're wired a little differently. And until you sit down with a creative and you're like, wow, you just get it. Not everyone's like that. And it took a while to understand that. And it wasn't until I went overseas that I understood that. As I was saying to you before in a non-podcast conversation, in Australia, when you tell people you're a dancer, it's a negative thing. Oh, okay. When you go to places like America, you tell someone you're a dancer, oh shit, okay, I see. How long you been dancing for? When's your next show? When's your next gig? Okay, so why is my profession seen as two completely different things in two completely different countries when we're all human, we'll bleed blood. We all want to follow our dreams. But society says take the safe route because it's what's best for you. That's what the rat game is, essentially. We're all feeling it in one way or another.
what the reason why I resonate with that so much is I think, and I solely believe this, is at the end of our life, when we go back and reflect on it, we never, ever, ever question the things we did do. We go back and reflect on the things we didn't do.
Correct.
And I don't want to get to the end of my life and say, why didn't I pursue my passion? Because I know with undying resolve, I'm going to be the dad.
Yeah.
I know with undying resolve, I'm going to achieve the blueprint and more. Right? Like I, that's not even a thing that I'm going to strive for. It's just going to happen. But what I will do is pursue my passions. I do not want to ask that question, what if?
Yep.
Right. And that's why, in terms of when society denies those, I resonate extremely with what Melissa said. There's such a big stigma on when you try to achieve those, because let's say people are finding interest in you for you pursuing your passion, when they realize your passion is something that doesn't pay well right now. For instance, dancing, the stigma is, will he be able to take care of me?
Provide.
Yeah. Will he be able to be like, there's all these stigmas around passions.
Yeah. Even some people would say this, for example, we're investing so much time into this.
And you know what's crazy? Not enough people, and I hate corny cliches, but if there's a will, there's a way.
Boom.
And I literally say, okay, what do you like doing? You like eating? Cool, be a food critic. Be a chef. Be a this.
Yeah.
Oh, you like sleeping? All right, there's actually jobs. You go test beds. You go do this. You go do, like, it doesn't matter what industry or what random freaking thing you like doing. There is a way to monetize it and monopolize on it. And until you take yourself out of a traditional career mindset, you won't realize that, or you won't follow your dreams, your passions.
Exactly. All right. You know what? I'm so happy with this episode. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm also really tired.
I think we covered a lot.
We did cover a lot, but I do want to end it, and I always want to end it with, what advice would we give? I think the one thing we want to achieve is, because everyone, what people struggle with the most is, what is my passion, right? I think the advice I want to give is, how do we find it? How can someone find their passion? For those who don't have passion and sitting there in their room going, 9
to 5.
Yeah, what do I do with my life?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do they then find their passion?
Let's say if you're watching someone do something that might pique your interest, try it.
Boom.
Try it out.
Yeah.
You never know if you're going to be good at it. You might be bad on it, but just give it a shot.
Yep.
You just never know what's out there. You might be, for all I know, the best beer pong player in the world.
Yeah.
Who knows? But just try it out and just, give it a go.
For me, without the mindset of trying to make money for passion, because sometimes passion is what can keep you going. And if you're already making money, it is what it is. I think is allocating time. If you don't have a passion right now, allocating time to try everything. Try, it doesn't matter what it is. You can find that peak of interest and be like, screw it, I'll try it. But try everything. If you are at your room right now, scratching your head and saying, what the hell am I doing with my life? Then dedicate time to freaking find it out. Okay. It doesn't need to make you money. Sometimes it doesn't need to do whatever, but what it needs to do is give you purpose.
Live life.
Yeah, live life.
And it can stay private too.
Exactly right.
If you want to practice singing in your room for an hour, 30 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah, 110%. Now to the main event. All right, Melissa, how about you? What advice would you give?
If you find something that makes time feel like it doesn't exist, it's probably something that you are passionate about and that you should continue to do. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel forced. It literally makes time disappear. Then you are passionate about it. You're doing it without a second thought. So if you find something that does that, or you're doing something alongside someone that does that, then you're probably passionate about it, and you should ask yourself why, and then continue to keep doing that. And to always remember your why when you do something. The moment it becomes a chore or a hassle, you need to remember why. Why are you doing this? Why? And I always ask myself why I dance. And I remember why, and I keep going.
Yeah. Boom. Okay, that was great. All right. Now that we got all the serious stuff out the way, I freaking love this episode. It was good. We want to end every episode with a game.
When we have time.
When we have time, obviously. Not every episode's going to have a game, unfortunately. But I think with this one, I'm especially excited for it because Melissa is extremely competitive. And I just know, we see each other eye to eye. And me and her are going to win.
Okay.
This game we're gonna play. We've played this before, but that's one of my favorites. We're gonna play Heads Up.
Yep.
All right. Do you know? Are you familiar with
Heads
that
up
game?
charades.
That's the one.
Yo.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Your auntie and uncle make.
Babies.
What's the relation they
Cousins.
have?
Are you freaking serious?
The whole topic of this entire.
Passion. Yep.
When you go to a store, you are a.
Supermarket.
Customer.
Oh,
When you go to the doctors, you go
Patient.
into a certain room and they give you an.
clinic.
Surgery.
ER room.
They're just looking at you. They're trying to suss it out.
Examine.
Consultation.
Yeah.
When there's something wrong with you,
Injury.
you go into a room and they give you an.
Anesthetic.
Band-Aid. No.
Serious. It usually gets
Diagnosis.
knocked out for these kinds of things. It's also a game.
Operation.
Yes.
Oh, are you serious?
You work towards a routine
Degree.
and you go to a dance.
Routine.
School.
That's
Once you've
award.
made the oh my gosh, I just messed that one up.
Competition.
Moving on. Yes, that's the one. Inside your mouth, you have a.
Ulcer. Are you freaking serious? There's so much things you have in your
You
mouth.
use this to climb things.
Mountains. Rope.
Rope.
Ladder. Yeah.
You go to school to get an.
Degree.
Why is it
No,
degree
I
first?
said it first. 30 seconds. We're tired.
Oh my gulai.
Come on.
Each country has their own
Continent.
something that allows people to communicate.
Language.
Language. Next.
TVs make things in.
Color.
Color.
Shows.
There's multiple of them, which
Channels.
creates a.
Channel.
Movie, volume.
Close.
Volumes. Series. Yeah.
Oh,
fine,
we're
let's
tied.
go.
We're tied. That's it. Last one. Okay, we'll do last one. And
Okay,
this
let me
is
find
it.
a good word for the last one. All right,
Hey,
all right.
we're tied. So this is the
fuck
last
up.
one. There's no timer. No
Sorry, be
timer.
quiet. Don't talk to me. Love you, bro. You'll still be the uncle to my kids.
Find a good one. All
But I
right.
hate you right now. No, so don't look at him. Look at me.
Look at me.
I'm gonna
Energy.
look up to the ceiling.
Okay. Go.
I feel like this is a good one. Could also be a really bad one. Let me think of how I'm going to word this. 'Cause
Okay.
This could really dictate.
Really? My anxiety is so high.
Okay.
Could you please just hurry up? 'Cause I can't breathe.
Go.
I also have so much caffeine. My anxiety is so high.
When you're in the car and you like a song,
Music.
you ask someone to turn
Turn-
up the
radio.
No.
Speaker. Volume. Ah! Freedom. Oh, that's so good. High five.
Oh, no, you're doing hella good too. I think that was a fair game.
That was pretty fun.
That was a fair game.
see this? Yeah. How does it feel, bro?
Huh?
How does it feel to lose?
No.
Melissa, you killed that. I just want to say, like,
That was good.
I think my explanations were not bad.
they were awesome. I think
bad.
you just gave him a bit too much. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
I was
No.
you were giving him a lot, and I get that. That's fine. You want to make it even. That's
What?
okay. That's okay. I like it.
Whatever makes you sleep at night. Right?
Oh God, I just want to
Y'all
say
were the ones entering saying the answers. I was saying the same thing to the both of you.
that was a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably my heart. I feel
that was
I'm gonna
good,
pass out. All right.
Actually, just Nah.
What?
Yeah, you're one of those guys. You're
What
just
the
mean
fuck
as
happened? Anyway,
bitches.
I think we want to say a big thank you to Melissa for coming out. We
Yeah.
had a great episode. Thank you so much for jumping on.
No, thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
We'll make sure to put all her social media stuff on here, but I don't know, whatever. Maybe she has multiple links. Okay. We just wanted to end again this episode. This is one of our last episodes for the season.
Yep.
We've mentioned in the past few episodes, and this is a big just a reminder that it is coming to a close, and we want to thank you guys for listening up till now. Really excited to end it.
Yeah.
Not that, I love it. We love it.
It is your passion.
It is our passion.
And we're ending it.
Yeah. No, but season one's ending.
Yeah,
So that's
season
it.
one is ending.
Yeah, but
We
thanks
just-
again
yeah.
for always being a part of the podcast, guys. We loved it. And thank you, Melissa, for being a part of this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, so that concludes this episode for this week. Thanks for tuning into That Me Podcast.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok by searching That Me Podcast on all platforms.
Like, follow, and subscribe if you want to see more of us. But most importantly,
Stay hungry.
stay humble.
And if no one's told you lately, I'm proud of you.
God damn it!
My heart.
That includes
My
me.
heart.
I haven't seen my parents in so long. God damn it. Okay, high five. I love that. I love that. All right, cool. All right, guys. That was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you guys on the next.
Passion.
See ya.
Woo!